Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to Hednesford Hills Raceway on this bank holiday Monday of the Easter weekend sizzler. Well, we could say sizzler in the best intentions, but the weather is somewhat foul. We're not at least freezing our backsides off like we were at Ipswich in the snow, but you can see that Ryan Polly is already feverishly working on his completely revamped battleship. The famous A40 that was the Hulk in its green was looking like it had better days, and now through the winter of prior to season 2018, Team Polly and Team Boyd Motorsport have worked tremendously on this car to reveal a superb finish with fresh bodywork, fresh looks, and to crown all, inspired sign work. As you can see, still working on it quite busily. There's Ryan there, not worried about getting wet or mucky in these conditions. We're just making sure that the tracking is right on the car. You can see the looks on the front of it with the battleship sign, the battleship. And as is typical in classic hot rod racing, the image and the style and indeed the humour is all part of it. A fantastic looking car that we have on display here, courtesy of Polysport and Boyd Motorsport. So if you just move across, you can see that Cara is getting her Wolseley 1500 ready to go. Just making sure that she's got the seatbelts on. She'll be ready for starters very soon. All their sponsors again on the side, Boyd Motorsport, and of course that's her business, Fairy Dog Mother, where she grooms and parlours the dogs down in a local area in Northamptonshire, and an extremely popular business locally it is too. So there we are. There's Cara, flash of the old the eyelashes and away to go. Good luck to you today, Cara, thank you. So we've just moved down pit lane a little bit. Unfortunately, the pouring rain that we had earlier on today is alleviated just for now. And we'll have a look at the Zetec powered all orange machine with its famous brown wheel arches. Well, he has to get the brown in somewhere. And this is Mike Oliver from Aberystwyth in mid Wales, who comes across the country to be with us at Hednesford today. This car, of course, Zetec powered, and really, Mike is quite confident with this machine, seeing it as being an effective and powerful and economic way forward in the formula. So we'll wish Mike all the very best. These cars, of course, all lined up now, just ready to get out on the grid for heat number one. And from the bright orange to the bright blue, and our Scottish visitor, 871, the calendar guy, is Graham Calendar. This car, which has seen several hands down the years, was raced at one point by Jackie Harris, of course, which Graham got the car from. A beautiful finish, 2 litre power, Pinto, and very much inspired by the production cars and the touring cars of the late 60s in its style and delivery. Beautiful looking machine, that's 871 Graham Calendar. Moving across pit lane, Charlie Schembri. Charlie, of course, today debuting his brand new Stallion Anglia, and an absolute treat it is to the eyes. And indeed, Charlie has been out in practice with this machine at Arena Essex, and has found it very, very... Charlie's... he always does this. Go on then, Charlie, just have a few words if you may. I'd just like you to just explain to the viewers about this car and how you feel that it differs to your well-established Escort.
Because it's a smaller car, it just feels like you're so compact, you're closer to the ground. The Escort is tried and tested. Mm-hmm. This is, it does go well.
Yes.
So we'll just have to see what she does today.
But you feel quite confident, do you?
Yeah, It's got the old 2V engine in it, so
Yes.
I'm quite confident that it's a good engine in it now.
Good.
So,
Well, I wish the very best and enjoy the experience today. Do you want it to stay exceptionally wet, or are you not worried?
I don't mind.
You don't mind? All right. Well, the very best of luck.
Dry, I don't care.
Thank you. All right. Cheers. Oh, nice few words with Charlie Schembri. And we move past those others competing here today. There's the Avenger, the four-door Avenger of 31 Steve Gooding. Steve, there is Steve himself, just by his trailer unit. He's a one-man band today, looking after his own car. He hasn't got anybody to help him, so hopefully everything will go all right. And from the beautiful, we go to, well, the well-used. This is the Super Banger Superb from Dave Owen. Some of you love it, some of you hate it, and I think that's what he loves about it, because every time he brings this car out, he gets a reaction from all the classic hot rod fans. Those of you who say, well, that's how they looked back in the day, little bit of body damage never did anybody any harm, and then the others who say, oh, all the work everybody else has put in, and look at the state of that. But still, it captures a lot of interest. And of course, Dave won't be one for going slow today. It's a very well-established car, and no doubt he'll be one to look out for. Now, this is a beautiful-looking machine. The 116 car of the Alpaca Man, Gavin Tabor. The Alpaca Man, why do you say that, Rob? Well, the reason being is that that's what he looks after. Alpacas, very much like llamas, and Adrian farms them or looks after them and takes them to shows and what have you. Would you believe he went to a show with over 600 alpacas in just the other weekend? But nevertheless, the influence on this car is quite clear. It is, of course, the Gulf colours, the famous Gulf colours from the 60s and 70s. Very much associated with Ford, of course. And, well, his son Gavin has a petrol station out near Diss, and of course there is a Gulf station, so hence the relationship makes perfect sense. So there we are. Adrian Tabor went well at Ipswich, first time out in the ice and snow, and came back looking for more. Quite an experienced man, as is of course his son Gavin, English champion. Bill Morris Memorial colours on the roof of this all-white machine, and well fancied for the points championship. Commitments aside this year, is out 3 places out Ipswich, and will be well fancied again to get some good points in today here at Hednesford. So we'll just move around Gavin's car. There's some of his sponsors on there, of course. This Car Spares, and of course his own garage of Royden Service Station. So anybody out in East Anglia who spots the car and the vans for sale that Gavin has, I'm sure he'd be only too pleased to chat with you, not only about vans but also about his classic hot rod. We'll move on again. Now this car was in bits just a few days ago, and indeed only has just been completed in the last 24 hours, and that's the 257 car, the little A30 of Andrew Willis. Andrew has completely rebuilt the front end, snatched out the damage, and literally pulled it out with a truck to bring it straight, and has worked on it. New wings on the front, well, repaired wings on the front. Where there's a Willis, there's a way. Well, there you go, that's Andrew for you. A very popular driver, of course, Andrew Willis, and often known as the People's Champion. It was bright yellow A30. So, we'll move on again to the last few drivers are here. And, of course, another driver who experienced quite a degree of damage at Ipswich just 2 weeks ago. Dean Kitchen, the Bromley Bomber. There he is, as it blazed on the front of the car. And looking at Dean's Anglia there, he has actually worked with his father Simon, who's worked extremely hard on getting this car repaired in time. The whole rear end was knocked in, and he's rebuilt it, and well, tremendous work, and hopefully it'll go as well as it goes and looks for Dean. So that's down to his dad Simon's handiwork. Well done indeed to Simon. From one exceptional car to another, from the old Anglia to the even older one, and that's the otherwise known as the Ford Pop version, the 100E of Shane Taylor. But the vintage is all skin deep. When you look underneath, there is a Z-Tech powered engine in there, and this car, which is featured in the May edition of Retro Ford magazine, will explain to you just how Shane put this car together on a budget of less than £6,000. So the equivalent of what you would get for, well, you can't even get a top line stock rod for that. And Shane has put this marvellous looking car together, keeping snug and dry in the inclement weather today. Marriott Auto Spares on the back. Hot rod driver, of course, Ken Marriott. Used to race classics as well. With a beautiful finish, the baby blue look of Shane Taylor's. And of course, if you want to find out more about how Shane put this marvellous machine together, then do take out your issue of Retro Ford magazine. Well, I can see that the Lightning Rods are just getting ready to line up for their race, and we will be on next. Just as we look to complete the picture, we'll walk on over to the far side of the pits up here on the banking at Hednesford, and just to take in two remaining cars that are here today for this, the second meeting of the year for the classics. We raced in snow, and now we're going to be racing in rain. Well, fortunately it's not raining at the moment, but one car which we can see with Lee Wood ready in the machine, and he's got his earphones in. I don't know whether that means that he is actually listening to Wham yet again, but he is the Club Tropicana boy, the Prince of Pop. And Lee Wood, well, we've asked on Facebook already, well, what do you make of that, guys and girls? It is the Marina grille on his HB Viva. Why? Well, I think it looks great, and Lee, well, he knows it's a lot cheaper than trying to find a HB grill, and that's why it's there. I think it looks the business. I'm surely getting plenty of feedback on Facebook as well. So Lee Wood, there he is, looking for better fortune than he had at Ipswich, and we will wish Lee all the very best. So moving on, last car up here, and it is the 924 car of Stuart Wright. Nice to see Stuart back. Things happening domestically, which is keeping him away from racing ordinarily, but it's great to see Stuart here at his local track. You can see the nice wide grille that Stuart has on this Anglia, very reminiscent of the style that George Polly would have raced back in the mid-70s. So again, as we can see that Stuart is getting ready with his famous open face helmet, and we will wish him all the very best. So that's your lineup for today. The classic hot rods will be on very shortly, and let's hope we have a good day's racing. We'll see you in a bit.